my guy. That's why they pay Muji the big bucks. That's the damn pig. Sorry, that's the freaking pig, baby. Finally, the Jets are back. The Jets are back.
He's got himself a David Bailey jersey. Let's go.
Thank you.
Well, thank Purple Belt Mike. He's the one who put your name on the wheel. He paid $20 for it, and he turned that into a jersey that you're now wearing.
You know, I think it looks pretty good, man. I like this. I don't know. I'm feeling this. I haven't liked the past jerseys we've had. This one's nice, though. I'm liking this. Feels good.
Big fella says, Tanky, leave that negativity on the gondola, bro.
You know what, man? I'll reserve total negativity judgments post camp. I think we'll see what this team's about in camp. How about that? So I'll be a little more positive.
How about this from the Doc? Doc, 10 gifted memberships. Doc Jet fan on the Wheel of Champions, playing to win a jersey. Let's go.
Hello. You play to win the game.
That's right. Here are the 10 listeners who are now channel members thanks to Doc Jet fan, Terrell's a Jet fan, Robert CX, Yabo Joel 8, Goose McGee, D Stern 60, Dookie 806, Sarah from Down Under, Jonathan Dixon, Frankie Constantino, and Juno Rudy, all receiving a channel membership there from our guy, the Doc Jet fan. Frankie, let's talk some actual news. This broke over the weekend, and I didn't like it when I saw it. The Jets have placed T'Vondre Sweat on the NFI list, the non-football injury list, and 2 other players on the PUP list. Sweat's the biggest name here, so let's start with him. Now, according to reports, this injury that he has is not supposed to be anything that keeps him out long, but he's a big dude, new team, and the official injury, according to Zach Rosenblatt, is a hamstring injury. So when you have a 300-plus pounder dealing with a hamstring injury, I don't care how minor it is, I don't like seeing that. What was your reaction to that? And then the other 2 players, Tim Patrick and Tyler Barron, will be on the PUP list at the start of camp. Patrick is not expected to be out long.
Well, damn it, man. The big fella didn't want me to be negative, and you just had to throw this at me. Oh boy. I'm kidding. But, Jake, T'Vondre Sweat has to be in shape for him to be successful here. That's just it. He's not only over 300 pounds, he's over 350, maybe 360 plus pounds. So he's a big dude. He had some endurance questions, I guess, with Tennessee. I mean, that's kind of par for the course when you're 350, 360 pounds. Can't play at 375. You could play at 360, right? So you got to stay within that sort of weight, or at least under 370-ish. If you're getting close to 400, you can't play in the NFL usually. So he's just got to stay in shape. I heard some people saying, well, it doesn't matter as long as he's ready for preseason or for the regular season. Yeah, it kind of does matter because he's the type of player that needs to be in shape. So I just hope this is a 1.5, 2 week thing. I hope he doesn't balloon up in that time frame. Let's say it's even 2.5 weeks. I want to see him get some looks in preseason. If he comes into the season in shape, I think it could be productive. If he's not, and he's playing himself into shape, you might be looking at, week 4 or 5 where T'Vondre Sweat's back in shape and able to be productive. And then at that point, he's got to work himself into this sort of rep share that these defensive tackles are going to go through. So listen, this isn't the end all be all for T'Vondre Sweat this season by any means. The injury is apparently a minor strain. I was kind of reading between the lines there and kind of talking to some people. It's nothing too detrimental, but we got to make sure that he gets back on the field and he's ready to go come week 1. That's my only concern. If this thing lingers and he starts not keeping himself in shape and he starts ballooning a bit, these big guys, when they get hurt, they can start gaining weight pretty fast. So I'm just a little concerned about that, but it's something major where he's not going to be able to play for a month or so. So
let's hope it's minor. Let's hope that he's only out a couple of weeks and he's ready to go, because he's a really big piece to their defense. I mean, they traded Jermaine Johnson for him. They're switching to the 3-4 base defense, and he's a guy that on first and second down, his job is to basically be a space filler and it cause havoc in the running game and allow guys like Demario Davis and Jamie Sherwood at linebacker to go out there and make plays. And the Jets were awful against the run last year, and T'Vondre Sweat was their biggest addition up front to try and be better in that department. So him being healthy, he's vital for this defense.
100%. And think about this too. Week 1, we're playing his former team. I'd like him at somewhat full strength because those big dudes, when they get mad against their former team, they might make a play or two that could be the difference in a game like that. So I definitely want him out there week 1.
I think it's a great point. Revenge game week 1
Totally.
for T'Vondre Sweat against his old team, and obviously the Jets facing Salah and all that comes with that. So we'll see. But obviously, this is the first real training camp news we've gotten, and it's injury related, which is never a great sign here. Frankie V is my guest. The Jake Asman Show is brought to you by PrizePicks. Check out PrizePicks right now. If you're a sports fan, they have something for everyone, especially if you're one of my listeners and you're gearing up for the upcoming Jets season. For player picks on PrizePicks, you just pick a player you like and you go more or less on a few of their stats. Check out some of the numbers they have for some of your favorite Jet players: Geno Smith, Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson, Omar Cooper Jr., Kenyon Sadiq, and many more. PrizePicks should be your go-to. And check out their new offer right now. Play your first $5 and get $150 in lineups if you win. All you need to do is sign up and use that code HMA. That's PrizePicks code HMA. Download the app now or click the link in the description to download the PrizePicks app today. If I say to you, minus Geno Smith in the offense, what's the big storyline you're following from day 1 on, starting tomorrow? What's that?
Secondary, man. That's my number one storyline, I think, even outside of Geno Smith in the offense. That secondary to me has to be able to hold up. I think we're going to put pressure on the quarterback. I have faith, obviously, in Mr. 3-1. I'm always a Will McDonald fan. I love the linebacking core for the most part. In terms of especially versatility, I think they can both, Sherwood and Davis, do a little bit of everything, play a little off ball. I think we could get after the quarterback. Those guys have to hold up a little bit, though, back there, Jake. If it's too easy for opposing receivers and tight ends to get down the field or even get yak, it's not going to be advantageous for those guys up front. So that, to me, I think, barring the offense just looking atrocious, is something that I'm just going to be tuning in throughout all of preseason. I mean, and all of camp. Jake, look at what the secondary looked like last year. I know they didn't have an interception, but they didn't even play well outside of that. It's not like they were helping in the run department. It's not like they were shutting down opposing receivers at all. I mean, it was an open field out there, man.
It's a brand new secondary. I mean, if you think about
it is.
Stevens is the only real holdover. I guess you could say, well, how about Brownlee? But Brownlee was acquired in the middle of the season already. Like you look at the Jets secondary, so much of it, Frankie, I think it comes down to just how good Pons is as a rookie and how good Azareye'h Thomas could be in his second year. Like if those guys step up, they're going to be a lot better than many think. If they're not ready for the spotlight to be starters, and let's say Minkah Fitzpatrick is not what he was, then this secondary could be a major weakness. And by the way, shout out to Gator McCluskey. I purchased a Gator mug for my cup of coffee here. So the chat noticed right away. Shout out to you, Gator. Love your coffee mug here. Oh, yeah.
It's a cool logo. Is that really Gator's logo?
It is. The Gator McCluskey, baby.
Oh, that's cool. That's a cool little R.
But anyway, Pons, Azareye'h Thomas, those are the two players I'm focused in on in the secondary all summer.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Especially, I would say AZ. I'm curious how he looks, especially in open space. And you can get a good sense of that in training camp because he is physical and he does know how to play bump and run, and he's a bigger body sort of corner. I wonder now with the speed, because his whole MO coming out of the draft was he's a 4.55 guy. Should we think about, or whomever was going to draft him, should they think about putting him at a little safety or playing him in the box at times? Because typically a 4.55 guy doesn't bode so well as a corner. But he didn't seem to, lack in the speed department too much. He plays faster than I think his 40 time indicated. He did get burned last year by T. Higgins, but that happens. T. Higgins burns corners every other week, it seems like. So, I'm curious how he looks. How does he move with those guys? Because those guys are going to challenge him. Those guys are fast. You're taking Garrett, Omar Cooper Jr., even your tight end, Sadiq, fast, man. You got a fast crew. AZ. I mean, the other, what's his name? Mitchell. He's really fast too. So that's going to challenge AZ Thomas a bunch. I think it's going to be really good practice and good looks for him all camp.
Comments, questions, super chat, cut the line. We haven't heard from this guy in a while. Felix Campos in the house. Felix, I hope you're having an outstanding summer. Ladies and gentlemen, hit it.
Felix Campos, he wonderful, wonderful guy. He gives a lot of gift memberships and loves the Jake Asman Show.
Take the money.
Felix, hope you're doing well, my man. You are in the Asmaniac raffle for 5. Got a super chat that just came through from Felix. He says, what's up, Jake and Frankie? Who do you believe will have a sneaky good season? Give me a total underdog. Well, I would have told you T'Vondre Sweat was going to have a breakout year with the Jets, but I'm not going to lie. I'm nervous when there's a 300-pound guy dealing with any sort of hamstring injury when he's trying to learn a new defense. So I don't like that. I'm not completely out on him, but he was certainly a name that I think could have a sneaky good year. I'll go Jawan Briggs. I think what we saw last year from Briggs was real. I think he's going to be even better this year being coached up by a real D-line coach in Carl Dunbar. I think they have something with Briggs. No one's talking about Jawan Briggs. We talk about every other player, it feels like, on the Jet defense besides the guy last year who probably overachieved whatever expectation there was for him, if there were any. So I'm going to go Jawan Briggs.
I'll give you one. I'm not going to go on the offensive side because I've been bringing up, Braylon Allen a bunch on your show, but I'll go on the other side. I'll join you on the defensive end, Jake. What about Jarvis Brownlee? How did he look here last year? Before he got a little banged up and hurt, Jarvis Brownlee was flying all over the field. I think he has a role in that on that defense, and I think he's the kind of player that a guy like Aaron Glenn would appreciate and put in some advantageous position. So I think Brownlee's going to make some plays. I think he fits what we're looking for. I've seen corners before with the Jets that looked like Brownlee, played like him, played the same spot as him, make a lot of plays. I think Brownlee's going to find himself a nice home here with us. He could play a little inside. He could play a little outside. He's tough. He's never shy to stick his hat in there. He forced a fumble. I think his first game he played with us last year. Tennessee fans weren't happy when they got rid of him, actually. They were like, what the hell are we doing? So I like Jarvis Brownlee here a ton.
Brownlee's a good one. I wonder what his role is going to be if Pons is the starting nickel.
Yeah, I do too. Listen, man, but Jake, you can never have enough corners right in this league, it seems like, especially guys that can play a little inside and out. If he was strictly an outside corner, I'd agree with you. I think the fact that he does play in that nickel role and can play a little bit, even a little bit of safety, Jake, he could play that role a bit. I know he's very versatile as a D-back, so we could move him around a little bit.
Give me another training camp storyline this week that you're going to be glued in on. Is it Cade Klubnik? Can we talk practice stats with Cade? Because they didn't sign that veteran, so he's going to get a real chance to be QB2 behind Geno Smith, it feels like.
Yeah, man. I mean, listen, everything I've been hearing and things I've been seeing, he's going to try to come in there and win that job. Cade Klubnik's a big-time competitor, and I love that. I love that energy from him. I really hope, listen, they're not going to have an open competition. I understand that, but I hope they allow someone like Klubnik to go in there, and if he's out playing Geno and he goes into a preseason game and plays really well and Geno's struggling and he's having some issues with the locker room and what they want to do, give Klubnik a shot. It might be a 10% chance he becomes a starter, but give him a shot. And I know Klubnik wants to take that opportunity, and he'll try to take it. I think that'll make Geno better also. I hate the thought of a veteran on, I don't want to say his last legs, but on his last team probably with the starting role in front of him just given to him. I don't like that. I just think keep it open. Let these guys compete. I always bring up the Russell Wilson, Matt Flynn example. I know it's not apples to apples, that conversation, but they had just brought in Matt Flynn. They gave him a bunch of money for that kind of quarterback then. And Russell Wilson, being a late third rounder, came in and took the job because he deserved to. And look how that turned out. Probably should have had 2 Super Bowls in Seattle. Not comparing again, but I just like the thought of doing that. And I think the players will respect Aaron Glenn a ton more if he does do that with the starting quarterback, because he made a mistake of not doing that last year when he just anointed Justin Fields as starter. And I thought that was a mistake. So don't make the same mistake twice.
Well said. Well said. Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. Felix checking in, says, doing great. Been a busy summer. Well, Felix, you're the man. Hope you're doing well. We see you at a game this year. He wants to know, how many total turnovers do you think we'll have by the end of the season? More than 4, Felix. More than 4, which is the total the Jets had last year if you count the 1 fumble recovery they had on special teams. I mean, look, they are going to have an interception this year, if not multiple. We can start with that. That will happen.
You're like not convinced they'll have multiple. You like we're studying like they'll have they probably will have multiple.
They probably will have more than one. I mean, look, it's tricky. Like, do I think they could have?
They should have, Jake. They should have at
15?
least 7 to 10 at least.
Is 15 too much?
15's a lot for them. 15 would be a good amount. I believe 15 is definitely more than half the teams had last year, I would say.
I want to see the total turnovers for the Bears had the most in the NFL last year. So who else ranked really high?
Yeah, I think listen, I think something like 8 to 10 interceptions would make sense, and then you're talking 6 or 7 forced fumbles, something like that. So 17-ish from 4 would be nice. You want to quadruple that amount, which is crazy to say, but they're gonna have more turnovers. I think purely based on, and they're gonna have substantially more. I think based on the pass rush in and of itself, and DeMario's gonna be there directing a lot of traffic pre and post snap. They're gonna get after it, man. DeMario's the biggest catalyst, I think, for that entire defense. I just think he's a veteran. He knows what he's doing. He's a Jet lover too, man. He loves it. He loves the Jets. He's one of those guys that like we kind of need to kind of come here and stabilize things. He's going to be important for us for sure.
Bears number 1, 33 takeaways. Jacksonville number 2, 31. Texans number 3, 29. Pittsburgh 4, 27. Rams at 5, 26. Seattle 25, and let's go all the way to the bottom. So the Jets at 4, 31 were the Commanders at 10, and the Giants at 15. They were 20. Again, 15.
What about interceptions, Jake?
So this is just total takeaways. I don't have INTs and fumbles isolated here. Again, I think they'll have at least 15, but that's not good. Like Aaron Glenn, if he wants to save his job, they got to be way more opportunistic than that and really decide games. You win the turnover battle, you have an overwhelming percentage chance of winning the game statistically. That's what the Jets need to do to be punching above their weight class and winning some games they're not supposed to.
Yeah, man. That's exactly what they need to do. I mean, if the way that you beat a team like Green Bay, week 2 is forcing Jordan Love, and he's prone to throw interceptions, especially when he's not understanding what the defense is doing. You have aggressive players like D'Angelo Pons, Jarvis Brownlee, making plays on the football. I didn't think last year, they weren't forcing quarterbacks to make bad decisions because the offense was so bad that there was no need for the opposing offense to have to force anything. But this year, I think that'll be a little bit different. I just think that when you're looking at the offense and, specifically, that they're not going to be as handcuffed as we were with Justin Fields at the helm. And I think we brought in some aggressive defensive guys. The number 2 pick in David Bailey. That guy has a motor and he wants to get after it every single down. That'll force quarterbacks to kind of rush some throws. You'll see it with D'Angelo Pons also. He loves to jump, whatever he can. He's a super aggressive cornerback. We saw what he did to Dante Moore the first play of the game. Biggest game of the year. I mean, these guys are fearless sort of competitors. That'll help everybody else out also.
Amen to that. Amen to that. AZ Jet Fan 16 says Frankie is back.
Hey, here's the deal. Just got no chance unless you click on that like button. And you got to make sure you subscribe to the Jake Asman Show. You don't, you can get the f*** out. Now let's go, Asmaniacs. We're built for this shit.